Hello, welcome back to another video. Glad you're here. Today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a set of coasters. Basically, I'm going to take this piece of it's a limb off of a peach tree that died a long time ago. We cut it down, and I saved some of the wood from it because it wasn't completely dead, but it was on its way out. So I saved some of the live limbs and been drying out in the back room for a long time. What I'm going to do is going to make coasters, a set of coasters, and basically it's just going to amount to taking this piece of log and cutting it into sections, you know, pretty much however thick you want. Probably going to make these about 3/4 inch thick, and then so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these on the radial arm saw. And what I'm also going to do, and I'll show too, is I'm going to take a piece of scrap wood that's just flat and straight, probably a random piece of plywood that's over here, used from other projects. We save all the scrap stuff for whatever, and I'm going to put a piece of plywood on here and put a couple screws, well, probably farther back away from where I'm going to be cutting. But what that's going to do is it's going to give me a flat surface up against the fence of the radial arm saw. So I'll make my first cut on the end to clean it off and flatten it off, and then I'll scoot it down, turn it this way. I'll scoot it down, make a cut, slide down, another cut, slide down, another cut. And what that's going to do is it's going to keep everything parallel and consistent thickness when I cut it on the radial arm saw. And then from there, it's just going to be a matter of sanding it down. Something like this, you know, it's like anything, if it gets moisture in it long enough, it can damage it, it can split it, it can warp it, stuff like that. If you're worried about something like that, you know, if you know something's going to be on it for a long time, you can go over it with like a polyurethane finish or something like that that's pretty much waterproof once it cures, and then that'll, you know, save you the trouble of having to worry so much about moisture on the coaster and everything like that. But this is a really dense, tight-grained wood, like a lot of fruit and nut trees are. So what I'm going to do for these is I'm just going to oil them at the end to kind of show what it looks like. But if you wanted something that was, you know is going to have a lot of moisture on it for a long time, you know, a drink's going to be sitting on it for a long time or something like that, you could definitely put a polyurethane finish on it, let it cure, and then it'll be pretty much waterproof. But something like this will hold up for a long time just as it is. Like I said, it's tight-grained, and it's a real hard, dense wood, so as long as you're not just leaving it soaked something on it all the time, it should last for a long time, even natural like this. So I think I've talked enough. Let's get started. This will be pretty quick. Screw the piece of plywood to it, cut out sections. I'll probably make like 4. Some of this bark is loose on here, so what I'll probably do is after I cut the sections off, I'll probably take a wire brush, just a real stiff wire brush, and go across like this. I want to kind of save most, you know, leave it as natural as possible, but you know, just go on and get the loose stuff off now, because it's going to come off eventually anyway. So just get the loose stuff off before you finish it or oil it or whatever. So let's get started on that, and we'll take a look at them at the end and see what they look like. So right here, as you can see, it doesn't have to be real long or anything. It just needs to be flat and straight enough that this part can ride up against the fence on the saw, so that when it's going through, everything will stay in line as you're going through making your cuts. Really easiest thing to do is lay it flat like this. I don't want it set up this way, mainly because the clearance on the radial arm saw, I want to make sure I can get as much clearance as I can out of it. So I'm going to kind of let it naturally settle where it's going to, and then I'll have this kind of flat, and I'm just going to bring it up on here, bring it up against it, and leaving the space here so I can get my cuts out of it and not have to cut through this. Even if it were up here, put the screws back here and it'll cut through that, and this won't matter anyway because it's scrap. But I'm just going to have it back here, put a couple screws in it to keep it flat. I'm going to make sure that the screws go down beneath the surface of this, so this is still flat and then the heads of the screws aren't sticking out and making everything off. So I'm just going to do that. All right, so now in order to keep these pretty consistent as far as the thickness, what I'm going to do is, I know that the saw blade comes right next to this part where it's been cut out. So I'm going to put the tape measure right on the end of this. And I'm going to mark it at 3/4 inches, which is what I want the thickness to be. Somewhere right in that area. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a stop. And I'm going to lay it out to where it lines right up with that line. Okay, let's get a, that's not going to work. We'll use this one because it's wide enough that it will catch the piece. So what we need to do is I'm going to clamp this down here to hold it in place. And then when I slide this down, it'll hit right here. And then when I make my cut, it'll be 3/4 inches. And after that cut, move it down, touch it again, make each cut. And you can do that as many times as you want. And make consistent cuts, and they'll be, you know, pretty much equal all the way. So get this clamped down and mounted where it won't move, and then cut the rest of these up. All right, so now I've got them cut. You can see I had to go slow through there. Like I said, it's really a dense wood. So what happens is you get the saw makes burn marks on it where you have to kind of stop and go real slow and pull it through. And but sanding will take care of that. Before I do that, like I said, I got this old U. It's been used quite a bit. It's a really stiff wire brush. I'm just going to go around and knock off all this excess bark and stuff, all the stuff that's going to come off anyway. I'm just going to go through, knock off anything that's loose, and I'm going to take them over on the belt sander, sand down the top surface here, and then go back over with some sandpaper and smooth it out, and then oil it up. Oil it at the end. I have bumper pads that are normally used for cabinet doors, opening and closing them, to soften when it closes. Is I may just put like 3 or 4 on here. You know, maybe let's just 3, just enough to hold it up. And what that will do actually is it'll help it to not scratch up the surface, and it'll also work as something to hold it in place. It won't let it slide around so much. So actually, I think I might end up doing that, just because it's going to be a lot faster. It's going to be quicker and easier, and maybe more effective too. Because like I said, it won't allow it to slide around anywhere, and it'll still protect the surface that the coaster's on. So like I said, what I'm going to do, of course you're always welcome. You can sand the bottoms of these if you think they're going to be seen. If not, it's not going to matter. These are bumper pads. What they are, they have adhesive on them already. You peel it off. You just stick it on. And these things actually stick really well. They're not going to fall off anytime soon. If they do, like I said, you can get a whole pad of them and just keep them around and replace them if you ever need to. Basically, and really you should only need 3 for each one. You just put them in a kind of a triangle configuration towards the ends, and now you can see what that does is it provides a little more slip resistance, and the way it keeps it up off of there, protects anything. If it does slide, it's just rubber, so it's not gonna scratch or anything. So let me do the rest of these. We're going to get the oil out to oil these up, and you'll be able to see a lot of this stuff's gonna really come out and pop a little better. And then that'll be pretty much it. Let's do that and take a look at it. There you go, that's pretty much it. Let me get a better angle and we'll take a good look at these and see what we got. Alright, and there we go. You can see now they are they're all done. It's a set, you know, I don't know how many actually comes in a set, you know, it's however many you want to make, but you see they're all set up here, and I don't have any kind of bottle or can or anything. So just to show, just use a couple glue bottles here. You can see they're plenty sturdy. They're gonna hold up whatever you got to put on it, can, bottle, anything like that. And like I said, it's a little more slip resistant. It's not just gonna slide around real easily, and it won't damage the surface of the table or whatever it's sitting on, because like I said, it has the bumpers on the bottom of it here. And you can also tell from here how much more that the oil brings out the color and the grain and everything in here. You see how light it is right here, and you know there's not a lot to be seen, but then when you put the oil on it, or if you were to put a finish on it, it would be the same way, and it would just really bring out the colors and everything in the wood. But there they are, pretty quick and simple little project. But you know, they come out nice, and you know, if you wanted to, you could also just cut these into different shapes or however you want to do it. I just want to go for kind of the more natural look. So there you go. And that's going to do it for another one. Thank you all again for stopping by. If you have any ideas for projects, leave a comment down below. Let me know it's maybe something you might want to see here in the future. I appreciate you all coming by and watching the videos. If you like the content here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And then when you subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified of the upcoming videos. And I guess we'll see you all next time. Take care. Wait, don't stop. Just stand there. Really? And then from there, it's just going to be a matter of knock this over and that. Okay. Why is the phone ringing so much?